All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar event. My name is Joshua, and I'm going to be your presenter today. Our topic is mortgage loan tracking in church windows accounting. We're going to spend about the next 20 minutes or so together. It's 1 o'clock, approximately 1 o'clock. I think it's close enough here. A few things before we get started on our topic at hand. Everyone should see the screen in front of them, the church windows main portal screen. They should be able to hear me okay. We're going to be here till 1:20 Eastern Time. I will certainly do my best to stick around and answer questions after we're done. If you have questions for me, please type those into the questions portion of the control panel there for your webinar, for our webinar. I will try my best to keep an eye on those questions and answer them if I can during the event. However, it is just me. No one else is here helping me answer questions today. So questions, again, may have to hold off until the end, depending on, just kind of how quickly we are going to get through this here or not, as the case may be. If you've seen what you came to see, by all means, click File, Exit, Leave Webinar, or just close the webinar control panel. Thank you so much in advance for attending. We're delighted that you're all here. Also, just an update, we've established here sort of a better protocol for getting these webinar events on our YouTube channel. The movies of each one of our new webinar events, as determined, will be released on our YouTube channel no later than the close of business, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on every Friday. So this event should be up on the YouTube channel this coming Friday by 5. Okay. All right, so the first thing I want to show here is, before we get into Church Windows, is at our Church Windows website, the document that I'm using as the guideline for the webinar event today is found under the Church Windows support blog. So here down the left side of churchwindows.com, let me get out my highlighter friend here. Under the support section, we see the one called support blog. Okay, everybody should see my yellow highlighter there on the left-hand side. That when we get to the support blog, we're going to type in search here, and we're going to type in mortgage, and we're going to click search, and right here it says handling loans and mortgages. When we click on that, it reveals a link to a PDF file. This is the exact document that I'm using for the webinar today. Okay, so this is why we're not attaching it as a handout. It's here available on our blog page 24/7 for you to access anytime. We are going to reveal and open that document here. Let me get rid of my drawing. There are 4 methods for recording loans or mortgages in Church Windows. So we notice here, options 1 and 2 first. 1, option 2, then it shows down the effects of method 2. This is a very, very useful and helpful document. It always boils down to, in terms of which method you choose, to how and what you want to see on your reports. So right here again, I'm going to stress this, is there are several ways to set up a loan or mortgage. The choice you select depends on what you want to see on reports. We present 4 methods here. Okay? The line is drawn between number 2 and number 3. Okay? The difference between them is number 3 and 4 here, down here, number 3, really is, do you want to see the principal balance of your loan or your mortgage on your balance sheet each month? That's really what that boils down to, is, if you don't want to see it on the balance for what your principal balance of the loan is each month, 1 and 2 simply discuss or talks about expensing, treating the mortgage payment as simply a regular bill, whether it's through, you want to see interest and principal separately, or if you just want one expense account called, monthly mortgage payment. 1 and 2 simply do not involve the loan principal balance. Yes, we do. You do set up a mortgage liability or vendor to receive that amount before you post the payment, but there's no principal balance in that account. Beginning balance 0. Unlike our principal balance, which will show what we owe on what we owe on our principal balance after each month's payment each month. Okay. So that's ultimately what it boils down to, is in terms of setting it up is, if your finance committee or board or trustees or whomever say, hey, we want to see how much our loan principal balance is on our mortgage or our loan on our balance sheet each month, then you are automatically going to be steered down to option method 3 or down to even the final page to method 4. Okay? This document includes all of the accounts that you're going to wind up needing on them, okay, and shows you the effect of what each transaction will have on the respective accounts. So this will really, really help you set up your loans or mortgage tracking. Very, very it's a really good document. I can't stress enough. It's the same one we've been using here for years and years and years. We edit it when needed, but it's pretty much the same principles all across the board, either way, okay, in all cases. They do vary in levels of complexity. That's what I can really state about it. So methods 1 and 2 are the simplest. Numbers 3 and 4 are the most complex. And we're going to do number 4 today, okay? And so if we scroll up here, I'm going to highlight it here. Is that what number 4 does? It shows the amount of the loan balance in a liability account while still expensing both the principal and the interest each month. So basically we want to see the interest and the principal on our treasurer's report, perhaps affecting our budget each month, but we also still want to be able to show how much we still show or owe on the principal balance after each month's payment. So there is a level of complexity to this that is not like the others, okay? All right. So when we go into our church windows here, we're going to go back in and we're going to look at our balance sheet just to see what it looks like once the loan itself is set up. I'm going to take off our beginning balance column here. And we're going to run it through May is fine. May 2016 is fine. So the thing about the 3 and 4 is it really helps if you track fixed assets. So here notice we see our fixed asset at the counts at the top. The estimated or appraised value of the church windows or church building grounds and contents. And we're putting that on our balance sheet here, and ours shows total fixed assets of $1.5 million, okay? The recording fixed assets simply makes that much, much easier and much easier to do this if you have. You don't have to, but it makes it easier to do it if you can. So we have basically the fixed assets, including your loan, is a bit mini balance sheet unto itself. So our total assets, our fixed assets of $1.5 million equals our mortgage liability balance right here, mortgage payable. We owe $225,500 as of May 12th on that. And so the natural balance in our fixed asset fund down under our funds here is the difference between the two, $1,274,500. So if I add my net fixed asset fund to my outstanding loan balance, it equals the $1.5 million total assets, fixed asset total at the top. It should always be that way. Even after I'm done posting my monthly mortgage payment, that same equation should still add up. The accounts will show different balances. My mortgage payable will show that it's been reduced by the amount of my principal that I've paid down that month, and my fixed asset fund at the bottom will be increased by the amount of the principal I've paid down to show that we own more equity in the property. Okay? And so how we do that is we will go in and we'll record the bill and the payment just like we will normally. We'll go right in here, we'll choose, May 15th. We're going to choose our mortgage payable. So again, I want to make sure that everybody's seeing that, if I could type today, mortgage payable. So there's our mortgage payable. And we're going to just use an arbitrary figure here. So we're going to put in... So there, notice here we've got two expense accounts, one for interest and one's for principal. So we're going to choose interest, and we're going to say that our mortgage interest is $600, and then I'm tabbing down here, and I'm going to type in mortgage again, and here's our mortgage principal, and we're going to say our mortgage principal is $400. So we're paying, of our $1,000 monthly payment, we've got $400 that's being applied to principal and $600 that's being applied to interest. So now when I tab over, we notice now our total here is $1,000. That is our monthly mortgage payment. So that is correct. All right, so we're going to click Done, Add to Batch, and we're going to choose Post and Pay These Bills. We're ready to post this payment right now. So it says, do I want to print the bills? No, we're not going to do that for our webinar today. So now it opens up our pay bills window. It's got my same date occurred. I want to make sure my asset account is correct from which the mortgage payment is being paid. We're going to say that that's being paid online, electronically, so we're going to choose EFT. And I can type in comments here, May mortgage payment, whatever I want, and I'm clearing the invoice for $1,000. Perfect. Everything's exactly right. Okay. So then I'm going to simply click Post. That's fine. It's just warning me it's attempting to pay it from an asset that's different than the one I want. So I can say no to that, and I go, oh, okay, well, maybe my PNC Bank account is wrong. So I should be able to click in there and, oh, maybe I can't. That's not good. And we are going to go ahead and, the amount to pay. Got it, $1,000. That's why it's not letting us. We're going to post it. Yes. All right, so that mortgage payment has now been paid for the month of May. However, when I go back to my financial reports and into my balance sheet, okay, I'm running it for May 2016, and I click Print. When I go down and look at my mortgage payable balance, wait, it's still showing $225,500. It hasn't showed the $400 of reduction in principal. Remember, when I entered the bill for the $1,000, I added $1,000 to my mortgage payable account. Then when I turned around and paid it, I debited $1,000. So the net result or effect on the actual mortgage payable account itself right here is 0. So there wouldn't be a change to that account balance because, again, my debits and credits to the mortgage payable were exactly the same. This is what necessitates the third and final transaction here, which is a simple journal entry to go into right here up to Transactions, Other. We're going to do Journal Entry Transaction. I'm going to date this journal entry as of, okay. I'm sorry, folks. I don't know what's going on here, why it's not doing this. We're just going to be patient here. There might be something going on the machine here in the background that I'm unaware of. But basically, we're going to just simply post a debit to the liability. Let's, at least in the meantime, go back to the report and take a look at that, see while the screens are hopefully trying to open. But basically, we're just going to post a debit to the liability, the $225,500 for the $400 of principal that we paid, and we're going to credit that down to our net fixed asset fund balance to add it there. Okay, so there's just that one additional third transaction that's needed in order to be able to move the principal that we've paid for that particular period from the mortgage payable or the mortgage balance or principal balance down to our fixed asset fund. All right, folks, let's try this again here. I'm not sure why it's not opening our journal entry screen here. I'm sorry, we run into these types of things periodically, and I mean, I don't mind the problems as they occur with regards to that, because it lets you know that I deal with issues with Church Windows just like you do. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, there it is. It's still not opening. What gives? Okay. Let's try exiting all the way out of Church Windows and let's try relaunching it again. Apologize for this. It's unknown. I've never run into this problem before, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. All right, we're just going to let it load up here. We're going to try going back into accounting again. We'll go right up to Other. All right, here's what we're going to try. I know what it is. I figured it out. Occasionally it pops up. Special functions, settings, reset screen sizes to default locations. Now when we click on transactions, other journal entry transaction. There it is. All right, so a little bit of a delay there. We're going to make that May 15th. We're going to choose our mortgage payable account. We're going to debit it by the $400 of principal that we've paid this month. We're going to click the plus sign on the right. When the account moves down, we're going to choose our net fixed asset fund balance. We're going to make that our credit account. We can enter comments here, moving of monthly principal, mortgage principal. Click Done, Add to Batch, and Post. Okay, so now when we go back to our reports, balance sheet, and we run it for May now, we will show that let me maximize it here and maybe zoom in on it a little bit. Scroll down, we do show that now our mortgage payable balance is now $225,100, and our net fixed asset fund is higher. When my mortgage payable is down to zero and my net fixed asset is up to my $1.5 million, I know that my loan or mortgage has been paid in its entirety. Okay. So yeah, other than the little hiccup there about resetting those screen sizes, but that's it, folks. Basically, use the report that we've printed here, that we've referred you to on the blog page to print it out. Give that give that report to your finance committee or your board or whomever is wanting to see this on the reports, and have them decide or help you decide which option they would prefer to see based on the reporting of it. And of course, if you have any other questions or problems with it, please call our technicians here, 800-533. We're always delighted and happy to help. So we're finishing up about 3 minutes early here, but if there are questions, I'll certainly be happy to see what I can't do to answer those. Again, if you've seen what you came to see, you're welcome to leave the webinar. Let me see what I got here for questions. Can you show the current liability due within the year and long-term liability? Okay, well, I think, Sherilyn, here, I think that maybe when you're looking at your balance sheet, that's what you're asking here is, seeing how under our, line of credit that's paid down and our mortgage payable, that we have a specific section under our liabilities called total long-term liabilities. I hope that answers the question for you. If we are already paying on the mortgage and the finance groups decide they want to show the balance on the balance sheet, does the document you refer to show us how to set that up when it's already in process? Barbara, it does not. So if that's how they want to do that, what makes that easy to do is if you're already tracking fixed assets. So what I can say is that if your fixed assets are already on your balance sheet, that's a simple, debit the other way around from your net fixed asset fund up to your new mortgage payable, much like ours, for whatever the current principal balance is. However, if you don't track fixed assets, that becomes a lot more or bigger challenge. Call us on support if you have questions or need help with that. I missed the beginning. Will it be available online? Yes, Catherine. The movies are now going to be for each week are made available by 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Friday of each week. So it'll be on the YouTube channel by Friday, tomorrow. Susan, yes, the instructions or the document that I'm using as the model for our webinar today is found at the Church Windows website by going down to our blog page down here under support blog, going into our search, typing in either mortgage or loan and clicking search, and right here we see accounting, handling loans and mortgages. Click on that and review the PDF file. The YouTube link, it is www.churchwindows.com/. I'm sorry, www.youtube.com/church windows. There it is, youtube.com/church windows. Takes you to our page. You've got the playlists here. They're separated by each module: membership, donations, version 18, accounting, payroll, system, version 17, end of year, all kinds of stuff here. And only getting larger. Great question. Good. I hope it helps. All right, folks. Well, I hope this has been a helpful presentation. I'm not seeing any other questions coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar for everybody. Again, if you have other questions, please call us or email us to Church Windows. And we hope to see you at another Church Windows user group webinar event. All right. Thank you all so much. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.